Welcome to... I actually don't have a name for the podcast because I don't know if we'll ever do this again. It's just on a whim. A podcast about tabletop RPGs. And I'm Hatter, and with me is Andrea.
Hello!
And DallyDayDream.
Quack.
I find that way funnier than I should. Okay.
Now I have the duck song stuck in my head, thanks.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
I don't think any of us are. I guess we should start off with who we are and like how long we've been RPing and DMing and things like that. So, anyone want to
also how we got into it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyone want to start in particular?
I think you should go first, Hatter. This is your podcast.
Well, okay. I didn't want to be. I didn't want to presume anything.
We'll presume for you. Do it, Billy.
Well, I've been DMing / playing for nearly 10 years. Almost 11 in a couple of months, actually. And I remember, the reason I got into it was my dad was way into it. And when I was like 8, he sat me down and we played the original Dungeons & Dragons Advanced system. And I still remember my first character. He was a dwarven fighting man with a girdle of giant strength.
Nice.
He got killed.
Oh.
No!
By giants, nonetheless.
Irony.
But yeah, that's kind of like, I really just sat down and went, because back in D&D Advanced, very first box, they had like 4 classes, and they had like 5 races, and I thought I could do better than that, and so, for the longest time I have, and that's after the collapse, which both you play.
You have a system?
What?
What? That's what we've been playing all this time? Sorry.
It's really neat. Besides, like, the little bits of Wanderlust and Eli's system, Gods vs. Mortals, it's basically the only system I've played.
Yeah, I think my favorite systems are generally the ones that have been homebrewed by people I know.
Well, there's a lot of like weird ones out there too that are really fun to play, like Paranoia. I would love to play Paranoia with everyone here.
I need to play Paranoia at some point. Really fucking do. I'm sorry, Hatter. I should have asked. Did you mind if they're swearing in this particular podcast?
Oh, God, no. I mean, refrain from racial epithets and things like that.
Well,
but I don't think
obviously.
anyone here would even remotely come
No.
close to that. But like, I have a bunch of PDFs for systems that we could eventually one day run, if it'll open for me.
Yeah. This is the problem with us role players, especially creative ones, is we have lots of ideas and lots of games we want to play, but only so many hours in the day.
And
Yes.
Dally will attest to this. I am a bastard.
Yes. Andrea will also attest.
Yes!
Well, yeah, Andrew doesn't,
Product!
Andrew doesn't call me a bastard on a regular basis. You do, though.
Hello.
I keep it to a minimum.
That's just, that's just how I greet people. Hi, you bastard. How you doing?
Well, I mean, because I'm a DM, and I'll tell stories that will rip your heart out, and then to soothe it very gently.
Emily. Ugh.
Oh,
I'm sorry, the story about Emily really affected me.
I guess Emily. I guess I should tell the story about Emily when it gets around to it. But like, no, like I have Furry Pirates the PDF All Flesh Must Be Eaten, which is a zombie one, which I have a story for that.
Oh my god.
Dawn of Worlds, Dungeon World, Pony Finder, Shadowrun, The Fellowship, The Void, Call of Cthulhu, Cthulhu Tech. I have a bunch of PDFs, and that's not even my shelf. I have a bunch on my shelf, and this is what happens when you like DM and play games. You just collect them over time.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, yes, and Dally, you've DM'd before, but you, like, not wanting to get into a big time, right?
Well, I'd love to be able to run a campaign one day, but that's very much a down the line kind of thing.
But
when I have DM'd in the past, it's usually been either a one-off or a very short-lived campaign.
But Andrea, I know for a fact, would love to become a DM.
Yeah. I did attempt last summer. That didn't really work out too well because I was playing with mostly inexperienced characters with the exception of Hatter and one of our friends. And so that kind of fell apart after like 2 weeks.
We were also playing with like 7 people.
Yeah.
Which
I'm not doing that again.
Oh god, no, if you're a beginner, do not start with 7 people.
Again, I've been DMing for 10 years, and when 7 people in one group are like, I don't know about this. I'm questioning my life decisions here.
Yeah, I want to try again this summer. I'm definitely that I have about limit of 6, but I have because there's one spot that's already been filled. So 5 of the people. No, my boyfriend because he really wants to play this game.
Aww.
Now, as a DM and I've been through the paces, I would question that. But knowing you as a person and knowing your boyfriend as a person, I think it'll be fine. But you really do get into a situation when you're playing, at least DMing with your significant other, things can happen, and they're not too good sometimes.
After you play a game with your significant other.
Well, yes, but I played, like, did I? No, I did not. But, like, I know Eli well enough, and I know myself well enough, and Eli could play a game, brutally murder my character, and I really wouldn't have any animosity against Eli.
Yeah, I mean, Dave and I have been in plenty, like, initially we were just players, so we've played lots of games together.
Oh yeah, playing together can be a great thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But then Dave started DMing a game, and that was actually great. I think the biggest conflict he and I had was the fact that he's very plot-driven and I'm very character-driven. But once we kind of figured that out about each other, we started working a lot better together. So, yeah, I think it just depends on the couple, honestly. Because I love being in games that Dave has DM'd.
I've actually been in...
When we do story time later, we'll have to tell you about the time that I DM'd a game that Dave was in. That was interesting.
I've actually been in that relationship before where, before Eli, I had a girlfriend, and she really wasn't into tabletop games. She always wanted to get into them, just no one was ever around. So I DM'd a game for her. It kind of jokingly, half not. She joked about, if something didn't happen, I wasn't getting any that night.
Okay.
Yeah, half joking, half not. So it
bribing the DM.
And it was like I remember in the story too. Like she was playing a particularly well endowed woman, and they came across a bunch of bandits who was like, you can't pass unless you pay us. She started flirting with me in character.
Yep, woman after my own heart.
Yeah. But it wasn't like, the smooth, like, Threnody trying to hit on you. It was
You think I'm smooth? Thank you.
It was the very, she was practically on top of me.
I see.
And it was
That's
so
definitely just back DM.
Yeah, I was trying to stay in character so much.
Oh dear. I'm mostly just scandalized that there was life before Eli.
No, I can't even say it. Scandalized.
Scandalized.
That's a story. That's a story too that needs to be told eventually.
That's true. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's another thing that RPGers will have is we will collect stories. In fact, most of the stories I have aren't my own. They're stories of what other people have told me that probably won't get told anywhere else. Oh man.
Can we just call this podcast "Glorious Lives of Battle"?
Yes, the glorious lies of battle. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I was gonna call it like tabletop tales or something like that. So I usually like that the alliteration, but glorious lies of battle. I need to write that down because that's brilliant.
That's what Dave usually refers to when we're talking about anything we've done in roleplay.
Guys, I got this glorious lie of battle. Yeah, that's kind of like where I got started. Going like way like a subject and a half back. That's kind of where I got started. Was my dad introduced me to D&D, like the original. not the original.
What edition was it at that time?
D&D Advanced, which was the first D&D edition that people usually go for. Like, there was D&D before that, but it was a, like, offshoot of Gary Gygax's original book called Chainmail. And it was incredibly unbalanced. It was really bad. It was almost unplayable. D&D Advanced kind of smoothed out all those wrinkles, so that's what most people play. But yeah, though there's like, there was like 4 classes: Fighting Man, Priest, Ranger, and Mage, I think. So yeah, something like that. And then there was like 5 races: human, elf, half-orc, halfling.
Half-orc is the best race.
Muffag! Jiggle.
And Mothlag is the best half-orc. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. Sitting here realizing we have a lot of stories to tell.
I am actually surprised anyone knows about Mothlag. Apart from the people who were in that game.
Yeah, I was there for one of the games. Like, I was there for, like, the last game that was, streamed.
Streamed? Yeah, because I didn't stream that. I think I streamed a few sessions of that game and then I stopped.
I was there for, what I call the People's Elbow.
The what?
The People's Elbow, because the Paladin is the champion of the people.
Ah.
The People's Elbow. Oh my god, that's glorious. We are getting, like, super sidetracked. We're just immediately going into stories.
We should talk about how Andrea got into
Yes!
Yes.
Yeah. I've been RPing for, about 4 years, so I'm the least experienced out of everyone here. Hunter actually is the one who got me into it, because I can remember, sophomore year of high school, it was like the second or third meeting of the gaming club that year. I think you had asked, either you or Logan had asked me if I wanted to play in the RP, and so you sat me down later at the library and just gave me the handbook and said, "Go nuts."
Yeah, because that was back when my system had a functional handbook.
Well, I say handbook, it was more of a folder.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, no, that's basically how it was. Like, this is all you need to know. Just read it super quick. I'll take you through the character creation steps as we go. That's kind of how it was, and we slowly tainted you over time.
Oh, yeah.
But don't worry, Andrea. I will be sure to get to the story of the blacksmith.
Ah!
I'm not sure I've heard that story.
I thought I was gonna die!
If Andrea had her way, it would be dead. It would never be brought back to life, but I will always tell it when I can.
Yeah!
Oh, and I will tell the story of the incubus as well.
Hey, that one! That's already up online for everyone else to hear. Come on!
Andrea, this is why you need to DM so that you can start gathering dirt on Hatter.
I did campaign. I did kill him twice.
Oh my god! Well, in my system, yeah, when you drop to 0, technically. But no. Every combat we had, and we only did it 2 or 3 times, but it was a pretty combat heavy campaign. I got dropped every single fight.
Every single one.
I was a paladin, and my one thing was, if I cast his ability, I can wreck house. Like, I can do massive amounts of damage and protection, but I could never cast it. I'd be like, cast, fail, damn, and then someone blindsides me and I'm out.
That is the thing about D&D and Pathfinder, is the to-hit rate, for me, is a bitch.
Yeah, no,
I feel like I could never, I would roll damage forgetting I had to hit first, and it's like, oh, hey, look at that damage. Oh, wait, no, I have to hit. I don't hit.
Which I can understand that, especially when playing in D&D. Sometimes the to-hit ratio is kind of off, especially in 5th edition, the newest edition of D&D. I find it's kind of until you get higher levels, it's really sucky. In my system, it's basically 50-50 shot.
Yeah, I've noticed that with your system, there's a to-hit thing, that you roll to hit, but it's not skewed against us.
Yeah,
so.
it's you start at 50-50, and as you go up, it's harder to hit people, but you also gain more bonuses. So
yeah, exactly.
Roughly stays around 50-50. Yeah.
I find your system to be very balanced and intuitive. It can be complicated with leveling up sometimes, for my taste anyway, but I like your system a lot.
Thank you.
It has definitely evolved since when I started playing.
Oh my god. No, back in the day, you only had 3 abilities per level.
Back in my day, we only had 3 levels, and we had to walk to them uphill both ways, and we were grateful.
Back in my day, which was like, I don't know, when I first started playing was like 2000 something, early knots. Back in my day, we rolled 4d6 and dropped the lowest one down the row. I love that.
No.
I love that system. If I could, I would do that.
You got the lowest one. Yeah, that's fine. I thought you said the highest.
No, lowest. You roll 4d6, and you can get shit rolls. You can roll a 6, or you can roll an 18. You go either way, and I love that because then you can make interesting characters. Because like in the newest systems, they have is like point buy.
When we get to telling stories, I'm going to tell you about my brother's rogue.
Oh yes.
I need to learn more about it at some point.
Yes. But like I don't like the new point buy system. It's like you have.
That's what they use in Pathfinder, ain't it?
They use it in almost every RP now, but you still have the opportunity just to roll dice instead. But point buy is, how do I optimize this character as best as I can? This is how I do it. You get the same character every time. The stats are always the same.
I am not a fan of I mean, I totally get that some people, like optimizing their characters, and I'm totally fine with that. I would rather focus on making a character who's fun to play rather than who's efficient, if that makes any sense. Yeah, obviously you can be both, but I place more value on just the character rather than how they're built.
I can understand that, but the issue with like point buy is like you get two 16s to add to any skill and any stat, and then everything else is 9s or something like that.
Oh no! I mean, sure that'll work for some people, but if you have that for the entire party,
yeah, no, that even if you had a wide diverse, like he's the tank, he's the skill monkey, he's the healer, yada yada yada, you almost always get the same. Like if you're rolling a warrior. Every warrior you roll, every warrior you have point buy system will always have the same stats. The issue is though, like, a lot of those systems have like, you have to have 15 strength to be a warrior, or you have to have 15 charisma to be a paladin.
It's like, if you want to do this, you have to distribute your points in this way.
Yeah, and
I personally prefer systems with more freedom.
Yeah, if you have point buy system, then you will put those 16 pointers into those skills, and that's it. And so you will always have the same character. And it just gets so boring.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that would work fine for some people, but I think, like with our group, we're very much more story and character-based than mechanics-based.
Yeah, I mean, even if it wasn't even if we were more mechanics-based, I mean, I feel like, because like we always flavor as someone not getting a good perception roll, having like gunk on their visor.
Yeah.
Instead of, I just don't see shit.
It's like, Pulse has an excellent perception roll, but whenever she botches, it's like, Pulse, you forgot to clean your visor again.
Yeah, you gotta clean that off.
I really loved that last session, Threnody kept getting crap perception rolls, but that made perfect sense in character because she was feeling distracted by something.
Yeah, and we always end up flavoring that, and the dice somehow just seem to be able to tell.
Yeah, I mean, not always, but sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. And that's how it is.
Sometimes the dice just love to mess with us, though.
Well, that's because I love to, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but when they mess with us, usually they also mess with you.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sorry, we got sidetracked again. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Andrea?
Not really. I think I said everything.
Dally, how'd you get involved in RPGs? Because I don't think I've ever heard that tale.
No, well, it's, I got involved with tabletop role-playing about 8 or 9 years ago when I was in my 3rd year of university. But before then, I don't know if this counts, I was involved in play-by-post role-play. And that's like not even with the DM. That's just, forum-based. Everyone has a character and just messes around. And that was since I was 14. So that was like my life for a long time, throughout high school and into university. Kind of on and off, but in general, that was it. I loved role-playing. I loved being other characters. I loved writing about them. Play-by-post on forums was how I got that fix. But over time, I found out that my university group did have a roleplay society. And And I think I found out from one of my friends who I had one of my courses with, Ailey, who is still we don't see each other very much, but she's an awesome person. She's a very dear friend and an awesome role player. And she kind of, mentioned it to me. And eventually I started, I think for the first 2 years of uni, I was pretty busy with like theatre and stuff. And I thought that you had to, and I thought it clashed with theatre, but actually it ran 2 nights a week and it was separate campaigns on each night. So I started going along on Thursdays, and it was kind of a big leap for me. But once I got in, it was amazing.
We play on Thursdays.
I took to it like a fish to water. So Ailey ran a game with superheroes, which I joined, and I also got Dave to join as well. So we were playing together, and it turned out that the one of the new people who'd moved into my flat, in my sort of, it wasn't student accommodation, but it was student geared stuff. So we had basically all students living there, and one of the people who'd moved in that year was a role player, and he actually was running a Star Wars game. So my first ever game was actually Star Wars, and my first ever campaign was Star Wars, because he was they were playing it in the kitchen. I'm like, oh hey, is that roleplay? It's like, yeah. I was like, I'm thinking of going along to the Roleplay Society on Thursday. It's like, oh cool. So then I actually sort of got a standing invitation to join the Star Wars game. So I ended up being in 2 games, and yeah, ever since then I've loved it so much. I'm trying to think. Yeah, after I left uni, I didn't get to roleplay anymore because I'd moved back to Aberdeen. All my roleplay friends were in Dundee, and there were like a good few years where I just didn't roleplay. So it's like I feel like I can't really say I've been roleplaying for 10 years because there's been a big gap where I haven't been roleplaying. And then when FID got started, when Spud put the call out for people to audition for Fallout as Dragons, and I thought, oh, that would be fun, because I'd seen stuff about Skype-based podcast-type roleplay games, and I thought, oh, if I could do that. And when I got in, that just kind of opened up to a whole new social circle. I met the guys from FID, I met all you guys that I know now over time, and now I'm in a whole bunch of games, and it makes me happy to be role-playing again. I'm rambling like no one's business. My apologies.
No,
that's fine.
Yeah, no, I listening to like all of our kind of like our stories. I feel like the way we got into RPGs is much like an RPG itself. I mean,
you all meeting an inn.
No, well, kind of, but like we all kind of started with humble beginnings. Like, it was something small, like something that got us kind of spark and started going. And I feel like in the end, our final game will be some big epic thing, and then that's it. It's going to be amazing, and then just kind of stops.
I think never.
I'm not going to stop role playing until I'm like in my 80s.
No, I can imagine you now. You're like 80, like 90, and then just be like, I rolled a hit.
Well, it's if I live that long, but yes.
Very true. Man. Yeah, it's funny that you said it plays on Thursdays. We just so happen to play on Thursdays.
Yeah, Thursdays is a good roleplay day for me. We there was actually came a point where we had our regular Thursday group. There were a bunch of us, and we always seemed to come together every I was going to say every year, but really I was only in that society for 3 years, like 2 years, my final 2 years, and then one while I was just hanging around Dundee. But I'm sorry, where was I going with this? I've lost my train of thought. Oh well.
For the audience, I guess, because for a moment I forgot that we had an audience. The FID that Dally talked about was Friendship is Dragons? Yes.
Fallout is Dragons.
Fallout is Dragons.
It does share an acronym with Friendship is Dragons, which is... So Newbie Spud has the webcomic Friendship is Dragons, which is a tabletop story, a tabletop telling of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, and he decided to start doing a podcast, which was podcasting a roleplay game which was set in Fallout Equestria, so Fallout is dragons.
Yeah. Which, that comic is so good.
It is a very good comic. Spud is a very talented writer.
And some of the ideas and things that are said, I don't think he has to really write, because when you play long enough, things like that are said and done. It's 100% true, and it's kind of scary sometimes.
Well, that's the fun thing. Whenever you're reading campaign comics, that's the term we're looking for. Whenever you read those, you can kind of recognize, not always, but sometimes you can recognize the kinds of players that you meet in real life, and it's like, yep.
There's always that one guy.
Oh, I remembered what I was going to say, by the way. It was to do with Thursdays and role-playing, and it was, we had our group, and we wanted to still game on Thursdays, but we didn't have an ongoing campaign. So what we ended up running instead was a series of one-offs, and the official name for our group was Thursday's Quantum Uncertainty, because we never knew what we were playing.
Just, everyone just like brings a book. It's like, okay, just put them in a circle and pick one.
I ran a Changeling game once, a one-off, I should say. That was interesting.
Changeling as in My Little Pony changelings?
Oh, have you are you guys familiar with World of Darkness?
Yes.
Because I played. That is something I played a lot of in university. Just various one-offs and stuff. So World of Darkness has games like Werewolf, Changeling, The Lost, Vampire the Masquerade. It deals with a lot of... it's D10 based, and it deals with a lot of... their settings are mostly supernatural or paranormal in nature. And Changeling the Lost is a fantastic game that, dear God, I would love to be in a game of this at some point, or maybe run it if I got the hang of it properly. But you are a changeling who, you were a human, but you were kidnapped by feyfolk, by fairies, and dragged beyond the hedge, which is basically a different dimension. You escaped, but you've been permanently changed and sort of fallen out of society, and it focuses with your adventures or misadventures, trying to survive with your new form in the new world while still kind of trying to escape from the forces that captured you in the first place. So it's fairies. I love anything to do with fairies, and this is very dark, twisted fairy story stuff.
I always liked stories that involve dark fairies. They do too much with the good, sparkly fairies.
Well, this is the thing. In Scottish folklore, you have the Seelie and the Unseelie, and they're both fairies. But you have the Seelie who are good and the Unseelie who are bad. Well, in broad strokes, anyway. So you have the ones who are, are going to look after you and be really nice, but you also have the ones who will try and trick you, and I very much like that dichotomy. And
in some cases, they're both. It just depends on how they're feeling that day.
Very true.
Which I find that
features.
because I'm really big into mythology, a lot of cultures have the idea of fairy folk, or just anyone that isn't human or animal, and is magical. And so that includes good guys, bad guys. Elves are fairy folk. Orcs are fairy folk. In some cultures, orcs are also elves. So there's a lot of that, and it's only recently that fairy has almost universally been decided as a good thing, which it really shouldn't be, because there are some scary fairies out there.
It's neutral, yeah.
Like tree gnomes. Ugh.
The trees be attacking.
I read a story about tree gnomes once, and it terrified me because they don't kill you; they put you to sleep. But they put you to sleep. They put you to sleep using magic, and then they put you under a tree, which then grows around you.
No.
Yeah.
That's the stuff of Greek mythology right there.
Yeah, I think it's I can't remember. It's like gnomes. It is straight up gnomes, but I can't remember what culture has it. But I'm just like, oh, that's terrifying.
That would be Norway.
Ooh.
That does sound something it would be in Norway.
I mean, Norway's metal as hell.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
I mean, if that happens to be real, that explains the faces I see in trees sometimes.
Huh.
Well,
Hatter, is this where you got the idea for new fruit? The new fruit
that is a
tree?
good question!
Hatter.
I am not saying that I haven't done a lot of research and, okay, let me just say this. They say write what you know, and I do.
There. What Hatter knows is turning people into trees. Good to know.
I guess we should tell that story.
Oh boy.
Yes. So for the audience who don't know, because most of the people on my channel probably listen for the musical edits I make, not tabletop stuff. I run a game every Thursday, 7:30 ish Eastern Standard Time. About
Tune
Fallout.
in on my Hitbox channel. What?
I'll link it. I'll link it.
Do it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and it's a Fallout game, but it's a Fallout AU, which is kind of funny because Fallout's an AU in the first place. But, they find, it's the wasteland. I mean, it's truly the wasteland. There's no, structure, there's no system, there's no plant life or anything. They find a forest. They immediately go, nope, fuck that. Except the one person who was literally into nature. Like, that was their one thing. And that was Oswin, played by by Andrea, who's right here.
By the Andrea.
By the
Yes!
Andrea. Yes, the Andrea. And immediately begins to eat the fruit, and they're like, don't do that! Which was fun. They eventually find out that the tree, not all the trees, but some of the trees are people who ate too much of the fruit and were turned into trees. Which then produced more fruit.
At which point, everyone said, "We told you so," and Andrea went, "Oops."
Oops, yeah, but I almost feel like if it could have been in person, Oswin would have gone, like shoulder shrug.
How was I supposed to know?
Exactly!
Well, it's the wasteland. No one, you don't get anything
This
for
is
free.
something that the rest of the group has never kind of let her live down.
No. It was even referenced again later on.
In all of the group, everything a player does is always remembered. Because here, if you decided, I'm gonna go frolicking alone at night, oh, I'm gonna make sure you remember that.
That's also another thing that keeps happening as well.
Yeah.
With us.
Which actually reminds me of the very first game I ever played with, I think with Andrea and the high school group. I'm not sure if you were here for that, Andrea. I'm not sure, but I think it
I'm
was.
not sure either. You have to keep going on.
I like the very opening of this was that you are all in a city called Diam, which is it's a big town, but it's had a lot of issues recently. And it's so crime-ridden, you can step out of your house, get mugged 7 times, and then take a second step. That's how bad this place is. So, they show up in Diam, and, they rent an inn. They don't rent an entire inn, they rent rooms at an inn. And, one of them goes, I'm gonna go, at night, I'm gonna go for a stroll. I'm like, sure about that? Yeah. Okay. I roll for it. The moment he steps out of the inn and turns and there's an alleyway, he gets jumped by 10 guys. And he's just like, oh yeah, I forgot. Oops. Oops. Yeah, and then one of them was one of them was playing a Shaolin monk, so he literally jumps through the window and lands on a guy. He's like, I'm here, I got you. It's just when I say, if I say the place is, crime-ridden, and you decide to go for a walk at night, I'm gonna make sure I keep my word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was in that one.
That must have been, before you joined the group, then.
It might have been. Because the first one I joined, that day it just happened to be me, you, and Logan, that was it. And we happened to go to attack a ship.
Attack a ship? Oh, the pirate ship!
Yes!
Oh, I remember that story too. There was nothing really interesting about that story, except for my character. I was trying out a new class, which
does not exist anymore.
No, because it's OP as shit. I had 2 hidden classes and 2 hidden races in my system. The 2 races were angelic and demonic, and then the 2 classes were Dragon Lord and Reaper. And Dragon Lords were all about keeping time and draconic power, and Reapers were all about life and death.
Eep.
I was playing a level 1 Dragon Lord, and I only had one ability. I could cast fire from my mouth and slow down time. That was it. But I would wreck house.
And that's why that class no longer exists.
Nope.
The Draken race still exists if I'm...
Yeah, but I mean, often we don't really play a fantasy setting, so, you know. Eventually we might play one, which would be awesome, and, you know, I would totally allow Drakians. But, I'm trying to think of
I'm
enough...
still wanting to run a fantasy setting at some point.
Oh, yeah! I'll totally play.
Yes.
I have two campaigns that I'd like to run one day. One being Assassin and the other being Mythica.
I am totally in for Assassin.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I don't like that laugh.
Is it scary? Is it scary how good I am at coming up with ways to kill people?
Considering you're a role player, I'm not actually surprised.
I don't. Does Andrea know? Andrea, do you know about Assassin?
I don't think so, actually.
Ooh.
Would you like me to tell you about Assassin? Because it comes with a story.
Sure.
Okay. So, while we were doing Thursday's Quantum Uncertainty, one of the one-offs that I decided to run was a setting that I'd made up completely by myself, and I was using the World of Darkness system for it, and it was called Assassin. And the basic premise is that player characters are all assassins. Not just any assassins, they are genetically engineered and specially trained assassins who are basically living weapons. This is what they were created for. We are living in a dystopian future, and assassins are very much... People hope that they don't exist, but they do. There are different specialized classes of assassin. You know, you have ones that specialize in bladed weaponry, some that use ranged weapons, some that actually don't use any weapons at all. Lots of different kinds, lots of different types of method of killing people. And usually they are just for hire to whoever has the kind of money to afford to bump people off. Now, the way I kind of wanted to run it was that they had been bred without any kind of a conscience, but I wanted to introduce a conscience as part of the game. So they would start... There was this particular assassin who kind of had mental psychic abilities and was slowly, you know, introducing other assassins to the concept of having a conscience, because up until that point, all assassins had been amoral, and, you know, didn't really exercise any free will or choice. So what I wanted to do was kind of like, okay, so we'll have this cool revelation, and then, you know, the assassins will start to be able to make their own choices and realize they're not beholden to other people, etc., etc. Unfortunately, I had not made this clear. Because I'd wanted it to be a surprise, my players didn't see it coming. They were just kind of wanting to basically, and totally fairly enough, to roll up some badasses and just badass it up without, you know, having to worry about moral consequences, which is what I was trying to bring into the game. So it ended up being quite special because I still love my idea for it and I love the setting. But I very much look back on it as probably my biggest failure as a DM, because what I had in mind and what my players had in mind was so very different. But I think how it officially ended was that two of the assassin characters ended up exercising free will, which was great. They decided to become serial killers instead.
Oh!
Well, hey, at least they made that choice themselves.
Yeah, but that in turn gave me, ideas for different ways to develop the universe. So I'm now thinking that if we have that catalyst, we stop having just amoral assassins, and we can also have moral assassins and immoral assassins, which just adds a whole other aspect to the game. Shiny new enemies to play with. So yeah, if I ever ran an assassin game, I'd need to kind of check with everyone beforehand. Okay, do you want to be good guys or bad guys? Because this is a thing I need to figure out first.
Oh, I got a story about good guys and bad guys, but I do like to point out that you had like different classes of assassin.
I do.
Which was really cool, and they're really well thought out. But there's one particular one that I took a fancy to.
I noticed, yes. The tech assassin.
Yep.
Of course!
That will kill people through interesting ways, so like I never actually have to pull a trigger. And I immediately started telling Dally ideas I had on how to kill people.
And I'm like, yes, Hatter, if I ever run this game, you're definitely in. Because I like the idea of tech assassins. They're meant to be the ones you hire if you want to make something look like an accident. However, Hatter's character doesn't really make things look like accidents.
No, I make things look like, how the hell did that happen? Like a tie.
Like possibly for the occasional client who's like, you know what? I want this to look like an assassin did it. Yeah, I want to strike the fear of God into my enemies.
Yeah, no, I want you to send a message. Can do. Oh man, I came with the shower of hell.
Oh god, the shower.
the necktie that's a little too friendly.
I just be afraid. Be very afraid if I ever run this game.
Note, don't cross Hatter's bad side.
And it was funny too because then you can like multi-class as assassins. Like you can be half tech and half something else.
Yes, you can be hybrids. Mm-hmm.
And
they have their own kind of
Or you can be like trained as one. You could be one type of assassin and trained as another.
That's generally how hybrids work. Is that they're genetically engineered to be one thing, but then they receive cross-class training. And hybrids are usually made to order, custom made.
Yeah, so like I was thinking going tech assassin and then being trained as a poisoner.
Yeah, the venom assassin.
Oh, I would have so much fun. Almost a little too much fun, but yes, I would have loads of fun playing that. But I do have a story about good guys being bad guys, but I think we should save that for next episode because it's actually a pretty lengthy story.
Okay.
Which honestly, I guess I'm trying to think of a story that could be interesting to tell for about 15 minutes.
To round out the hour?
Yeah. Let me tell you the story about the blacksmith.
Yes, please.
I was hoping that was gonna wait.
Nope. I gotta tell it because it's just too funny. One of the Andrea has almost always played a tiger folk.
If I have the option, it's what I go for.
Yeah, almost.
Something that you and Smarty have in common, then.
Yeah, that's what that's every character unless for some reason she can't play it,
Which has been every other character in that I've played. I've only ever had a chance to play 2. Because every time he's always limited afterwards.
Yeah, because we know we're gonna pick Tiger Folk, and I'm like, no, let's do something else. So back when we first started, we had this idea of a blacksmith doesn't have set prices. Actually, any kind of Oh, hold up! I think my dog's whining at my door. Give me a moment. Now, what was I? Oh yes, because we had an idea of shop owners don't have set prices for items, so they will often have if they are particular to a specific kind of person, the prices might be a little better, or if they aren't partial to a specific kind of person, it might be a little worse. So you actually had to determine who's the best person to go into the blacksmith and buy weapons from them. So I wasn't DMing actually. Our friend Logan was DMing, and they walked into a blacksmith, and he rolled to see how much this guy liked Tiger Folk because Avenue was the one talking to him. He rolled a nat 20.
He really likes Tiger Folk.
Yeah, no, he really likes Tiger Folk. And then he went, well, he really likes Tiger Folk. So I mean, how really? Roll another d20. Another nat 20. He really
the weighted dice, you fools.
he really really likes Tiger Folk, if you know what I mean.
No.
Yeah, so he's...
Andrea, I'm so sorry.
I think I did in fact kick Logan at this point.
Yeah, he immediately, like, tried hitting on Andrea. Because we had, like, a Drakian, a Tiger Folk, and a couple other races. But he, like, immediately tried hitting on the Tiger Folk, which Andrea always plays the same kind of character. It is stab it till it's dead, and then stab it a couple more times just to be sure.
Andrea, no.
Yeah, that was the character. But the thing was, like, she couldn't do this with the blacksmith because, one, she was technically a good guy. Two, they needed weapons. They needed repairs. And three,
I needed knives.
Yeah, they were in the middle of town, so they couldn't kill the blacksmith. They'd get in trouble. So, like, they were just like, just go along with it. You might give us some really good prices. And so... the
next couple of Wednesdays were really uncomfortable for me.
The Stabby McStabby character had to play nicey nice with the blacksmith.
Oh.
But it actually kind of worked out for her because she got a hidden blade, like an Assassin's Creed hidden blade, for free.
Poison chambers.
With the poison chamber for free.
Ooh.
Because the blacksmith really liked her and wanted, was trying to give her gifts and win her favor. Don't trust me, it was uncomfortable for Logan too because, it was weird. It was a little weird.
Yes!
But
I'm just imagining a tiger folk now with a forced smile, trying to make nice, but because it's a tiger folk, it's like this huge snarl.
Just
Yes,
my face.
thank you.
Just imagine my face doing it, and you got pretty much have it.
Yeah.
Oh no! Every time, like, hey guys, we need to go back to the blacksmith to get more stuff. Kick,
No!
kick under the table.
Whoever suggested it.
At this point, like it was like it lasted 2 or 3 Wednesdays. Because we showed up once every other week. It happened 2 or 3 times, and like near the end, we were just coming up with contrived reasons to go see the blacksmith.
You bastard. Andrea, I would not have blamed you if you TPK'd them.
I wasn't because I was my character wouldn't do that, and he was more of like he ended up being the group leader, just because he actually had a plan on what to do. Mm-hmm. He was the only one, and everyone was like, yeah, sure, why not? So he was the only one of the only people that didn't push that subject. As a player, of course I did, but as a character I didn't.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. You're pushing him as a player, you bastard.
But it was funny too, because then we moved on to a different setting, a different campaign, but with the same characters. Like that campaign ended, we moved on to the next one, and my character got mortally wounded, and Andrea's Tiger Folk got super upset.
Yeah.
Aww.
Like no one else, she hated everyone else's guts, but my character was special.
Because your character didn't push the blacksmith.
Exactly.
Fair.
I was literally just like, you just have to do it once, get all the shit we need, and we can go. That's all we have to do. And then the blacksmith popped up other places too.
Aww.
No.
Like whenever Logan would DM a game, we would have this joke about my sword's busted. I probably need a better sword. Let's go check out the blacksmith. And then Andrew's character would be like, yeah, I need to get some daggers. And who's of course playing a Tiger Folk, and it's just yeah, you were walking on a blacksmith. By the way, Andrea, god damn it. Yeah, he branched out, and every time they go see a blacksmith, there was a chance it was that one particular blacksmith.
It's like, why are you everywhere?
It's probably was a
we're all
good thing.
cousins with the same face and name.
Oh
Kind of
my
like
God!
Oscar Jelly or Nurse Joy.
Yeah, he's like, where's the blacksmith? Which one?
It's probably a good thing we moved to online ones because he might have not had a leg after that.
Oh yeah, no, because she was a hard kicker, but
I should have played soccer if I didn't have asthma.
She moved on from kicking us to threaten us with chopsticks.
Duly noted if I ever meet either of you in real life.
Why me? Why me?
I don't know. Probably. I guess I assume that if I meet Andrea, I will also meet you, and vice versa.
Well, we are a
Although
couple
you're not
hours
actually
away.
in the same place anymore, are you?
Yeah, no, but we're a couple hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could go meet up. But, like, I'm sure there's something you could hit me for that I've done. If not, there's definitely going to be something eventually.
We'll just go back through the recording and find some. Anything involving Steve, I'm pretty sure that'd be a good...
Oh, Steve.
You guys have fucking got me hate shipping Steve and Threnody now. Thank you very much.
Oh my god! Wait, okay, so hate shipping is just like, they hate each other?
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of.
Steve doesn't actually hate her, but
Threnody does.
Threnody doesn't actually hate Steve. She just... Oh, he just winds her up. And not in the good way.
Yeah, not in the good way, not like Belisarius, a snake.
Ooh.
Man, we got stories to tell.
Oh, boy.
Well, yeah, there was another thing with, Andrea's, Tiger Folk. Actually, it was the same character, too.
No, different character. If
no.
you're going with the Incubus story, different
No,
character.
no. Because there's one. Okay, now that you say that, I know for a fact there's this thing that you forgot about with your character that I didn't forget.
What did I forget?
Yeah.
I forget.
We started this campaign. It only got like 1 or 2 sessions. And we were on a boat, and then the boat crashed.
That boat. That one.
And we all woke up on a beach, and Andrea's character was the first one to wake up because.
Oh no, that one!
Now you
I think
remember.
Andrew's just remembered what this story
Yeah,
is.
because again, she's playing. Yeah, I think it's the same character. So again, Stabby McStabby.
Slardrix, yeah.
Stabby McStabby. But again, most of her characters are Stabby McStabby. Wait till I get to the evil character. Remember, all these guys were good guys. But she was the first one to wake up because they crash landed on a island that was inhabited by a feral tribe of tiger folk.
Okay.
And
Did they like blacksmiths?
yeah.
Sorry, I'll stop.
Oh no, don't trust me. We gave her shit for we still give her shit on occasion.
Ah!
Oh, and
Okay, so you met feral tigerfolk.
Because
I didn't!
yeah, no, she did
And
because the first she was the first one to wake up because a new tiger folk on the island. They're intrigued. They, as tiger folk, tribal tiger folk, gave her this big old lick across the face as a greeting.
No.
Yeah, so that's what she woke up to and literally screamed, both in and out of character.
Oh. Oh.
It was.
That used to be
That's-
yelling
I
at
know.
the club anyway. This was even louder!
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. I think her character also had to think about being touched, so it was even worse.
I was like, I'm being touched. I'm being touched by something. What the fuck?
Oh god!
This is not how we greet each other in civilized society.
I think we had to hold back her character from immediately killing this guy.
No, we didn't get a chance to because Logan had him run off!
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he ran away because
You gotta hold me back from killing Logan!
Hey, fully.
It's possible the tiger the tiger folk upon being screamed at realized, oh, maybe this wasn't a good idea. Maybe I should make haste. Yes, I think I will do that. Goodbye.
Yeah, a fully grown male tiger folk gets scared by a little tiny female tiger folk. Like, oh shit, gotta go.
Very much like, okay, no time for a goodbye.
Yeah, bye. Oh man, we.
I thought that one had died! Come on!
No, it didn't. Trust me, I remember. On the recording, we're coming up on an hour. I don't know how much it'll actually go to on YouTube, but I don't really have a way to close out.
That is a good question. Oh, hey, if you're putting on YouTube, anyone have any stories they want to share in the comments?
Oh yeah, I'll totally read them out. I mean, I don't have the
yeah,
best voice
yeah.
acting, but I'll totally read them out. At least the ones that are not super offensive.
Well, obviously, yeah. We have our limits. It may not seem like we do, but we do.
Oh no, we do. It just happens that our limits are very specific.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very specific things. I guess I'll do my usual closing of see you all next time, and don't forget to spread the weird.
Bye.